I got a little bit of time before this Wright State game, so story time. And, just so you know, this is a true story of a real person that I know. Here's the reason why I try to encourage young players at every level of the game to continue to get better, to continue to grow as a soccer player, not just with the skill set and athleticism, but with the soccer IQ too. Because all of these things have to kind of meet in the middle if you're going to be a truly elite player, right? So there's a player that I knew, I would say, since she was about 7th grade age. I used to watch her play in club soccer all the way through her senior year in high school. Now, this is a true story. This player was getting a lot of attention nationally, and for good reason. Like, she was supposed to be this standout stud of a player, and for a while, it looked like that was going to hold up to be true. Her freshman season for her high school team, she was fantastic. Her sophomore season, she was fantastic. It wasn't until halfway through maybe her junior year where you kind of really noticed a decline in her skill. Like, her ball control was declining. Her passing accuracy, her shot selection, her positioning on the field, the way that she used to be able to read defenders and do all of this, like, all of this stuff seemed to be dropping off. And, I thought maybe, stuff like that happens sometimes, like it's a common thing. But with this specific player, she just seemed to be such a natural player. Like, she was so good that it was like weird. Like, it was weird to see how good she once was to how bad she ended up being. Because from her freshman season to her senior year, like, there's no comparison. Her freshman year, she was just awesome. There was no injury. She had no significant injuries or anything. So, all of that's out the window. So I started wondering, maybe it's a mental thing. Maybe there's stuff going on at home. Maybe yada, yada, yada. So I quietly started to dig into this player's life. Like, not no weird, creepy stalker stuff, but I was really curious, genuinely curious, what was going on with this player. And I even offered to have private practices with this player because, I just kind of had a feeling like she was at one point getting noticed by all these different colleges. Literally from her freshman year. And by the time she was a junior, it was like they weren't talking about her anymore because something was wrong. Like, but come to find out, what it was a simple fact that this player wasn't taking what was for sure to be her career seriously. She was more interested in hanging out with friends, what was going on between her and her boyfriend of the time, that kind of stuff. Like, she was ignoring soccer for that stuff, and I'm not sure how things were for her academically. At least I'm not for sure, but I had heard that even that kind of stuff was falling off because she was so worried about the partying and kicking it with her boyfriend. Seriously. And all of that ended up translating onto the soccer field. And she was a shell of her former self. Like, she was not looking like the player that I heard about, the player that I watched pretty much grow up, or, the player that was being recognized nationally as this stud. So, I had reached out to her like near the end of her junior year, trying to see if she wanted to do some like off-season private practices with me and a few others. And I think, I'm not for sure, but I think she took it the wrong way as me saying like, you're not good enough anymore. And we kind of had a falling out about that. Not nothing big or anything, but you could tell like just the energy between us was just off now. But the truth is, the reason why I offered her that, because I'm like, I can help you before it's too late. I wanted to be able to rekindle whatever fire, whatever it was that lit the passion inside of her to even want to do this in the first place. But she took it personally. And she just had this arrogance about her where she thought she was already good enough. Like, I don't have to keep practicing. I'm good enough already. I'll be able to go to whatever colleges I want to. I'll be able to play wherever I want. Her senior year happened. She wasn't scoring hardly at all anymore. Like, I mean, she would literally play 40 minutes a game and not do anything. Like, and then get frustrated when coach pulled her out and put a bench player in. She would visibly get frustrated. And her parents used to be so mad at the coach, start cussing at him and stuff. And it's not the coach's fault. Like, the coach was right in doing what he did. Like, he noticed it. And there was, I think, the second to their last game, this was in the postseason tournament, I had talked to the coach after the game. And, one-on-one, what's going on with this girl, man? Like, is she good? Like, he told me exactly what I just said. She wasn't taking it seriously anymore. Like, she would show up to practices late or not at all. And at the practices, when she was there, she was, barely contributing, like not doing hardly anything at all, not putting any effort into anything. And coaches knew it. I knew it. The other parents of the players knew it. And I know that her teammates knew it. But nobody wanted to call her out on it because, she was the type that couldn't handle criticism, obviously. So after her senior year, I mean, she was expecting to go and play at these Division I schools, wherever she, was thinking about going, but they weren't interested in her anymore. And this is the truth. Like, they were literally not interested anymore because they saw all of this. So that's my story when I'm talking to these younger players about getting better and better and better. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you're already good enough. You know what I'm saying? Don't set limits for yourself like that. Don't throw yourself into a hole like that. Your goal as a player should always be improvement. If this is really what you want to do, if you really want to, so say you want to play varsity soccer, say you want to start in varsity soccer, say you want to play in a D1 college and start in a D1 college, or play professionally and actually get playing time, you have to keep turning the page and getting better. There's literally no shortcuts to this. You have to keep pushing. And a player like her, it really bothered me that she didn't chase this like she should have, because she was really that good. And I wish her the best with whatever she does in life. I'm sure she'll be successful and everything, but I know that this is something that she actually wanted. But it doesn't matter how much you want something if your actions don't match it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have all the dreams you want, you know what I'm saying? But without action, what is it? Like, I mean, what they say, I remember in the Kevin Gates song, he said, a vision without action is merely a dream. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth, man. If you are not living up to your own expectations, to everybody's expectations around you, you know, this is what you want, this is what you said you're going to do, then you're doing yourself a disservice. You know, like, you have all these coaches, all of these players around you trying to encourage you to get better, but you don't want to get better because you think you're already good enough. To me, that's insane. So that was just a quick little story time before this game started. It starts in 1 minute, so I'm going to go ahead and head into this Wright State game. So keep in mind everything I said in this video. Keep turning the page.